Good morning. Today I have to do a job I'm not really looking forward to. I would much rather be planting something interesting or doing an arrangement or just sitting with my feet up. But we have deer coming back into the yard again, so I need to work on adding some more deer fence to our back fence where we took out some trees. That's where they're getting in, I think. There's a couple areas I'm not sure we can even defend if they decide to come that way. So I've been planting hedging in front of them, in front of that area to try to keep them from jumping things that are going to get tall enough to create a 10-foot barrier for the deer to not come through. But this area back there, there's nothing planted on it yet. I will be planting a hedge, but before then I have to stop the deer from coming in because they are taking they just ate a whole bunch of rosebuds, and I didn't really notice them bothering the hydrangeas, which they usually do, or the heuchera, but they definitely went after rosebuds, and luckily I had just bagged all the fruit on the trees, or I think they probably would have taken more of those. So I want my roses, so I'm going to go work on the deer fence today. And hoping I'll be able to rope my husband into helping me, at least on snake watch, because it's getting warm. We've seen quite a few gopher snakes out here, and I don't like having slithery things around my ankles when I'm working, so I have my socks pulled up really high today. Oh my gosh, there's a hummingbird. Oh shoot, missed it. Oh, okay, hang on. Well, I didn't capture the hummingbird. All I did probably was make goofy faces, but oh well. So I'm going to go gather all the things we need: fence posts, wire ties, and the netting. Wire ties or zip ties. Zip ties they're called. And some sharp scissors, and get to work. Not going to be a fun day, but it'll be important, and it will save plants down the line, so it has to be done. So I'm going to go get to it. This area is looking pretty cute. The dahlias, these are the California coastal poppies, and then the balsam impatiens are coming up back here. Those are pretty cool. And I have some more, sedum, another dahlia. That's a fuchsia. Those geraniums are so bright. I'm gonna have to tackle that rose at some point. I just kind of thought this was cute. Looking cute. Okay, so the fence I need to work on is over there, but I gotta get there through this mess, which is weeds and cuttings and some random plywood. So I think, I just don't even know how to get there from here. I might try to go around that way. But I'm going to go make an initial foray into the area and wish me luck. There's a tomato out here. Huh, there's more tomatoes out here. Well. This is just going to take bravery, I think. Let's go back and get the wheelbarrow. Just be brave. It's only slightly terrifying. This is one of the black acacias here that's a weed in our area. And I see there's a ton of dead on it. I might leave that half. So I need to get my saw. That's what it should look like. There's an even bigger one elsewhere on the property, but I don't like it because once those branches get heavy, they flop over, and we just recently cut a bunch off the fence. You can see the fence is bent right there. So I'm not even sure we're going to keep this tree, but we just took 2 giant ones out of this area I'm standing in here. And that's what was probably keeping the deer out before. I'm trying to come in with more natives. This is a toyon. I mean, I even have a pittosporum down there. I have some ceanothus under there. I think that's all on this side. And then behind that acacia, there's Catalina cherries, coastal or California myrtle, California wax myrtle, and more ceanothus. So that's what I'm going to bring in on this side, is more of the ceanothus, California wax myrtle, and Catalina cherry, because that'll build this beautiful 30-foot high hedge here eventually. But until then, I have to put up a deer fence again, and I need to be able to get into that very corner. So I think I have to go get my saw or my loppers and go deal with that first. It's terrifying walking through here, gotta say. Because I don't know whether these piles of grass, number one, have snakes hiding in them. Number two, if they're like stable underneath, or if they're just like piles that I'm gonna fall through. So, kind of terrifying. Oh, and then the volunteer tomato. And volunteer 4 o'clock flower. And look at this volunteer Casablanca lily that came out of somewhere that we weeded this year. Dumped the weeds over here. It's kind of becoming a mess. I really wanted it more in one pile, but I guess the memo didn't get across. And these are our beautiful giant piles of wood chips. We have 2 of them. And we're slowly doing paths with cardboard. My son has a job at a bike shop, so we're able to get a lot of cardboard. And then we put it on the path here. This is an old path that was done a while ago. But then the new path, you see we put cardboard down, and then a fairly thick, 2-3 inch layer of cardboard on top. Not cardboard, wood chips. Wood chips on top. Here's a good corner to see it. See cardboard and then wood chips. Pretty thick on the wood chips. And that really holds weeds down for a couple years, and then they start coming through again, like this area, and then you got to do it again. But it's pretty, oops, it's quite effective, and you're taking tree pulp in the form of cardboard and tree wood chips and putting them all back into the soil, and that really enriches the soil, especially here we only have sand. So I'm doing everything I can to enrich the soil here. I'm stopping in the shade for a minute. We're supposed to be getting another heat wave, so I'll eventually finish up this project in here, but aren't these looking cool? And I love the flowers on the tricholius. That looks cool, and then these are just, this is unbelievable. I didn't even know what this was when I got it. So I'm getting the color scheme. You can see the pinks and the purples and the chartreuse starting to come together in the shade. All right, onward to find my saw. This is the hedge, very overgrown by weeds, but I have a ceanothus down there. There are 3 Catalina cherries you can't see between those two. They're so small. These ones are California wax myrtle here. And then some more ceanothus. Here's a PSA. You may see this growing in your yard and think, ooh, it's a tomato. It is not, in fact, a tomato, but tomatoes are a relative of it, but this is nightshade. And yes, tomatoes are in the nightshade family, which is kind of scary. But this has a darker stem and leaves. The growth habit is different from a tomato, but when in doubt, I wouldn't eat it. I think these do not have beautiful looking tomatoes on them. I think they will have small black fruits on them, but I'm going to pull this one out because we don't want more. No, thank you. Don't want any more of those. Okay, so I have these. They're light duty T-posts and zip ties. And what I do is I get it hugged up to the other post so that it's about 10 feet high. My husband's here to help me hold it. And then, yikes. I have to hold the tripod too. There we go. Okay. Oh my gosh, dropped all the zip ties. Anywho. And, oh.
These are too small.
They are small, that's for sure.
Big ones.
Do you? Oops, I do.
I'll get the big ones.
These ones are good for attaching the net. Okay. Anywho, that's the idea. You attach it so that, oh gosh, wow, fail.
Here, you hold this
fail.
and do it. There's only
Oh my God, very.
8 and a 10 in a pack, 9 in a pack.
Well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above.
5 pulls above.
Zip,
One,
ooh,
two, three, 4, 5.
zipper on the inside.
Do it even higher. Yeah, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Both the late 8 feet.
It's not quite 8 feet, but I think that's going to be close enough. Just not to give these ducks too much credit.
I'm actioning. I'm doing it. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm just trying to get this through this. There you go.
So we're going 5 holes above the top of the fence post. Now we
Yeah.
have no idea how tall that is.
And I want it to hook under this,
I'm approximating 7.5 feet.
but this is a little too bent tight in, so I'm trying to give it a little bit of space so it can go through there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Backwards. Did I? How did I do it backwards? How is it backwards? Interesting. Interesting. Tomato. I say tomato. Okay. Gosh, I hope this works. Yeah. Because I couldn't even reach higher than that to put a net.
Where's this deer here? You can't let it enjoy.
Eating my roses and all my flowers and plants we're trying so hard to grow to eat. There's no mallow right now. No mallow right now.
I didn't notice anything that was missing.
That's because you don't look at the roses. You don't stop to smell the roses. Greatly offended. All up, and we zip tied them in 2 places except for one of them. We didn't have another zip tie, but we are going to find one later and add it. It's a 7-foot deer net. Wonder if it says anything about how high they can jump. Which way should I start?
I'd start out the corner. Probably.
This corner? Okay. All right. So take a deer net with you. It's quite light, actually. And Aaron's over here because he's taller than me, starting it on the... And you can cut it just for simplicity's sake. We're going to leave it doubled over. Because it's really finicky and not very fun to work with netting. I gotta go give him some zip ties to go. All right, here's the little zip ties to zip tie it on there with. So we're kind of hooking it over that little thing there, yep. And you're tall enough to do the top one. I am not. Yeah, just go around it. All right. Okey-dokey. Tippy toes. So I think it is 8 feet. well, the deer fence has been extended. So we think we got it up to about 8 feet. And we do have deer fence that goes from there to the other corner of the property. So this side just didn't have it because we had such big trees here. And I do anticipate eventually not needing a deer fence at all because we'll have such thick and tall hedges. But we still do need to do this run of deer fence there until about under that tree there probably, because they could just be hopping over that fence and then over this fence. So got to go get more zip ties that are larger to attach the poles to the existing fence poles, and I probably need to pick up more fence poles as well. But just really happy got this part done. So step one is to attach the T-post here to your existing fence post, and then using thicker zip ties, and then you put the net on and you can use the smaller zip ties to attach it. And I also tie it in a few places to the fence so that it doesn't, in a big wind, just swing open and allow access that way. But you know, our fence is all bent here, so this one's a little wonky. But it's important to keep it tight between the two posts so that it doesn't sag, because there's really no way to fix that. And otherwise, just sharp scissors, zip ties of multiple sizes, and you can get it done. It's actually really pretty looking back this direction. All the wildflowers over there, and well, wildflower weeds, and our giant wood chip pile. But eventually this area back here will be, you know, more food and beautiful flowers just like the rest of the yard. But for now it's just kind of a horrible weedy mess, but we're working on it. That's going to do it for today. That was quite an ordeal. Getting those, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts up, and then the net across. We need to get some more zip ties, and then maybe we can finish up the other side. But hopefully, hopefully we will deter deer for a few days until we can finish the fence. Anyway, it's never fun to have to do these kind of chores in the garden, but they're really important. So they just have to be done. And we got part of it done, so time to go put my feet up, and I will catch up with you next time. Bye-bye.